Midweek stock market update. Here we go, right into it. And what do we see? Still the same old overvaluations. Remember, these are PE ratios. What that means is you're paying $34 for every dollar of profit Microsoft has produced. You might think that's a bit expensive. Well, imagine with Amazon, you're paying $319. Whereas with ExxonMobil, you're only paying $7 for every dollar of profit the company produces. Which company would you like to own? Well, of course, it's not as simple as that, but that does show where things are expensive. Very much a mixed week this week, and we're going to dive into that and see where the opportunities lie in terms of performance. This is price earnings growth ratio. You want it to be below 1, and you really haven't got much below 1 because that allows for the share price when you take into account the growth in profits. Okay, so how are things? Well, we've had a 43% return year to date on NASDAQ, which means for many of my clients, their pensions, for some of them, are up 100%. For others, they're up 40%. For others who are more risk averse, they're closer to the S&P performance of being up 20% so far this year. Phenomenal results in your SIPs and ISAs. Okay, that's fine, but let's consider, how does the S&P 500 look? Are we going to get falls? Are we going to get rises? Well, it looks like it's on the rise yet again. Okay, you see this monthly MACD starting to move up. This is continuing its upward trend. All good. What look like falls are not coming through. They're just not coming through. And we're getting that positivity continuing. The S&P 500, the FTSE 100, as I mentioned, will almost certainly continue falling, and it looks like it's about to resume doing that. Apple, you can see what happens when a company is further along the upward momentum. So start at the bottom here, you start rising up, you peak about here. This one is about halfway across, and Apple is already at a 52-week high. Phenomenal results. You can also see with this what the market thinks. This is what the analysts think, by the way. The average analyst forecast is 195. The price is 195, and therefore the return potential, according to the analysts, over the next 12 months is 0. They're wrong, obviously. Analysts usually are. That's why they're analysts. What do you see with Alphabet? That's a bit earlier on the rise up. So this is what it looks like when things are early doors. Still very much liked. I still like it. Okay, so that's your Alphabet. Now your Microsoft's having a bit of a sideways move. It's again halfway up, closer to an Apple. And we might get some more pullbacks, but it'll probably hold on to this level. Looking good. Would I buy it today? Yeah, I would buy it today. Amazon, again, a little bit early, so not as late as an Apple or a Microsoft, more like an Alphabet. Still got all that to do. And in the short term, yep, we might get some sell-off here. Would I buy it today if I had a choice? Yeah, I mean, I'd probably want to wait, but I don't mind getting in now if somebody already hasn't. Disney, I was in Euro Disney, disappointing. I don't mean Euro Disney the park, although it was raining, so that was disappointing. But I mean, it's still going flat, but we'll keep an eye on it. Happy to still hold it. Certainly the analysts think it's got 28% to the upside. Nvidia, if you are, and I say it every week, if you're risk averse, you will have sold out of this. If you're risk loving, you'd keep hold of it and keep an eye on it. And that's where we are. We are here with this, and it still seems to be eking out gains. But we keep an eye on it because it's overbought here. That's the stochastic, weekly and monthly. And the next direction would obviously be lower. And you can see that's happened in the past, and you can correlate that to what then happens with prices. When you get a period of that, and you can see that actually it can remain overbought for a long time as long as the MACD is rising, and it is rising. So as I said, risk-loving people like me continue holding their Nvidia, and they don't mind continuing to hold it either. Tesla, this was one of my special situations in my Great Investments program, and it's done very well. We're going sideways for the moment, but despite some of that short-term profit taking, should continue to the upside and making you good, healthy returns. Now, Meta is at the top end of that move from the bottom of the MACD all the way to being overbought. So from oversold to overbought, it's near the top end. And as we can see, it's still got a little bit to go before it makes an all-time high. That will happen this year, but we might still get a bit of volatility and a bit of sell-off before it does. Certainly the analysts are buoying it up and still think it's worth, well, they think it's still worth buying, every single one of them. Interesting. Sorry, that was ServiceNow I was looking at. Meta, they still think it's worth buying. There you go. Over there, ServiceNow, they all think it's worth buying. It's had a bit more of volatility, this, and it does tend to. You can see, what can go wrong there. Oversold into neutral territory and overbought. So got a long way to go yet to the upside. So I'm still liking it. And whilst that looks like some short-term sales, we'll still like it. Still should be all things okay. Hope you enjoyed all of that. Don't forget alpeshpatel.com/links. Be careful of people impersonating me, contacting you out of the blue. I never do that. Okay, alpeshpatel.com/links is where you want to go to look at more of this stuff. Hope you found that incredibly useful. Have a look at the campaignfor1million.com too. Thank you all very much.